Hi folks, welcome back. This is our next project, which will be praying Joseph. It'll be like a lot like praying Mary, but the fact that he'll have a beard and have a different type of a hat. It very much resembles the Shepherd series, but just a tad different with the colors, but the same idea with the top part. The only difference is we're having him praying and kneeling and with his feet sticking out of the back while he's kneeling. This one's a little smaller than the Mary project that we did. So what I did was I got a little bit bigger piece of wood to match Mary up a little bit better with the sizing. Alright, so what we have here, real quick, this is a, let me take a look at this. This is a 1 inch by 1 inch, okay, by just about, let's see, 5/8, 3 5/8 by 1 1/4 inch by 1 1/4 inch. Alright, so that's our size for the block. So here we go. Let me get my tools, which are of course on the other side of the table here. Let me get this here for a second. Get a couple of my knives here and all. Usually I have this pretty well organized, but today it's a little different. Alright, I'm back in my studio, camper studio, and this is where I'm filming this today. It's a little quieter at night with the traffic going by and all. But the other thing we also need is a pencil. And a very small one. It's the only one I could find, folks. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, of course, is work on the hat and position his head. Now, the difference with this one versus the Shepherd, I'm trying to have him looking down a little bit. So his beard, because he's tilting his head forward a little bit, his beard is not as pronounced. So the first thing I did was I picked a corner that I kind of like here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and take this and just mark where the hat's going to be here. Let's go down a little lower. Alright, and that's, well, maybe 1 inch down or so. And I'm going to mark it here. Again, you measure it. Alright, let's see if that's close enough. Yep. And a little bit lower down here. So we're going to have this matching up and around. And this is going to come down. I'm going to have it draped over a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we're just going to bring this down like so. Okay, but the first thing we've got to do, because he's looking down a little bit, we kind of establish where the hat's going to be. I really have to cut down into his face a bit. So we're going to go past the nose a little bit, and we're going to notch this portion out. So the first thing we're going to do is going to come down a little bit off the nose, because the nose is going to be there. We're going to have we're just going to start chopping this out. Alright, just like so. Just a little bit at an angle. You'll see why after I do this. Alright, that's all you want to do right now. Okay, and then you want to go up here and you want to start cutting out where the hat's going to be. But before we do that, let's round off the top. Normally I do that first. We take the sides off a little bit. I'll leave the bottom yet. We'll determine that in a second here. And we're going to round this up a little bit, and we're going to start rounding off the head. Now remember to put your glove on, your thumb guard, and all that good stuff. Alright. I just got done making the master of the baseball player in Sparky. So in a day or so I'll have a video of my new DVDs out. I have 3 new ones that are coming out. The one has been out for a while, just haven't done a video on it yet. Now I can tell there's a problem with this. Okay, I want to show you something. See these white lines? Okay, I don't know if you can see them really well. Those white lines are because there's a nick in my knife, and I think I know where it is. So let's show you what it looks like. Okay, see it dragging? Then it's time to go to a different knife. Apparently there's a problem with it. Let's see if I can use my strop. I'll use this time to teach new folks. A strop is simply a piece of wood with 2 pieces of leather on it and with a compound on it. And what we do to get rid of that, if it's really bad, you should be doing this every 20 minutes to a half an hour, I would say, when you're carving, to keep that edge on your knife. Now if you don't, it's going to make your project much longer and tougher to do. Now see, when I did that, see that those little lines? I definitely have a nick in there that I'll probably have to buff out. I think because of the thinness of the blade, and that does happen, I might have tried to pry something out and it knocked a little piece of it out. It's okay from here down, but it's right in the center, and I don't think I'm going to be able to take that off. And I'll show you that in just a second. See, it's still doing it. So that's going to have to go to a stone or a diamond cutter or some other form to reshape the bottom part of that blade. So we won't be using that one any longer. So we're going to put that one to rest. And we'll pick out another knife here. This is a standard knife. I don't recommend a knife that is that's a pocket knife for a beginner, simply because it can collapse on you if you're not careful. I've actually cut myself more often lately opening and shutting the blade than actually doing the carving. One of these carvings, I think it was the Mary one, I did cut myself a little bit, and that has since healed. You can tell that's not been a problem. Okay, now we have that pretty well situated. So we're going to go down here, we're going to notch out each side. We're going to take that down pretty good. And remember, I did it at an angle. Same thing over here, you're going to take it to an angle. And now when I did that, I know for certain that knife is not going to go anywhere when I rock it. But usually you can use your thumb to push into it, and that can give you the depth that you need. That's a much safer way than going like this with your hand. You shouldn't really do that. I just did that because I knew it wouldn't go anywhere. But you want to be very, very careful. And now I'm putting in a stop cut for the top part of the hat. Alright, and then we're going to notch this portion. This is how you should do it, with your thumb. You can push it in there a little ways. And folks, I try to emphasize to people. Hear the buggy going by? We are in Lancaster, PA, or near Lancaster. I'm actually in Chester County, but I have Amish neighbors behind the farm here and such. So you'll hear them go by every so often, or past my house. They're very common here. For those of you that aren't in the Amish country at all, I know they're all over. They're in Ohio